has an enormous array of levers over Turkey when it comes to economics. It's one of Turkey's biggest trading partners. For instance, 3.2 million Russian citizens travelled to Turkey last year on holiday. Already the Association of Russian Tour Operators is advising Russians not to go to Turkey anymore. The foreign minister has said the threat of terrorism there is too high, and also advising Russians not to go. That in itself could have a devastating impact on the Turkish tourism industry, but also other projects. There's something called a Turkish Stream gas pipeline that's been proposed, a multi-billion-dollar pipeline bringing Russian gas to Europe via Turkey. That could also be cancelled, or at the very least put on hold. Turkey gets 57% of its natural gas from Russia. That could also be curtailed, or the price could be raised for the Turkish consumers. And so, as I say, there's an enormous array of potential levers that the Russians can pull if they really want to punish the Turks for shooting out one of their planes. And you get the impression, listening to Russian officials from Vladimir Putin all the way down, that they really do want retribution for this.
It's interesting. You can see why the Turkish president is so keen to line up a meeting with Mr. Putin. But I also want to ask you, Matthew, about the military angle to this. Obviously, economics are being used at the moment, but also news now that Russian missiles are being stationed inside Syria. Just walk us through the military significance of that move.
Well, I mean, I think it's immensely significant because these missiles, they're called S-400s. They're the most sophisticated surface-to-air missiles that Russia has, and they're amongst the most sophisticated in the world, the most capable. They can shoot down targets at a range of 600 kilometers. They can target something like 80 targets simultaneously. And obviously that radius of range means that if they put them in Latakia, which is where they've been flown to now, and state media is showing pictures of them becoming operational, it means that they can control the airspace potentially over the eastern Mediterranean, over the Turkish border, over most of Syria. It's an incredibly significant move. If the Russians choose to close off that airspace, they will now have the weaponry to do that.
All right, Matthew, thank you very much for that. Matthew Chance joining us live from Moscow. We're going to take a short break. When we come back on the Business View, grabbing a bargain while stocks low.
Recording of Turkish warnings to the Russian pilots is getting mass media coverage.
Breaking news here, Turkey's military has just released an audio recording that it claims captured warnings that Turkish fighter pilots issued to a Russian jet.
This, says Turkey, was the pilot's final warning.
However, the Russian Defense Ministry says their Turkish counterparts told them they didn't release any audio recordings. Ankara also refused to give Russia any evidence regarding the attack, including those recordings. The Russian Defense Ministry has therefore declared that denial as proof that they're fake. And with the scandal gathering steam, some of what's been presented as evidence is questionable.
The Turkish media is saying that this plane violated their airspace 10 times within 5 minutes, and during this 10 times, they sent out a warning to this plane.
Putin keeps saying that Turkey is aiding ISIS. Is that true?
The Russians, especially when you're flying near an enemy area like Turkey to the Russians, you would definitely be listening to guards. The other big thing is this. Look, the Russians are not as good as people give them credit for. They think they're somehow, the equivalent of the United States military. They're not.
What do you think Putin's thinking tonight?
Well, I think he's probably pretty embarrassed.
Vladimir Putin, the president, has also tweeted, he's tweeted several things regarding this.
Turkey says that Russia invaded their airspace. Russia says that they did not. Who do you believe?
I believe Turkey.
Meantime, Turkey's been accused of helping fund Islamic State through the illegal oil trade. Photos have been posted on social media, allegedly showing the Turkish president's son with leaders of ISIL. RT's